Hasan's mad at Legal Mindset? Because Legal Mindset, I guess, made a video about Hasan.
Dude, there's something so funny about people being like, dog, have you seen the Legal Mindset video about you? Dude, if I were to cover every Rumble lawyer, fake lawyer that actually is like a fucking right-wing freak that spends most of their time talking about like trans people, I would lose my mind. I would have no time to cover anything else. I get it. A lot of you are drama perverts, okay? And you nut.
Is he back to the I'm above drama thing again? Is he doing this again? He is. Oh Jesus. Okay. Right.
When you think about the prospect of drama, but I'm not going to pay any mind or any attention to some fucking psychotic MAGA lawyer, not a real lawyer, but a passport bro, who offers fucking courses.
He didn't say he was a lawyer. He said he was. Did he say he was a lawyer?
On becoming a passport bro, who primarily fucking streams on Rumble. Why?
I don't see how Hasan can criticize someone from being a passport bro whenever you went to brothels overseas. I think that's a bit of a double standard. That's just me. But to me, that seems like a double standard.
Why do you guys come in here and ask for this stuff? It's never going to happen. Okay? It's never happening.
Is this it?
We're talking about Le Boobies, 24 karat gold Le Boobies. Dude, you got to watch the Sigma Grindset lawyer's fucking video on you. Okay. I'm good, man. Thanks.
Oh my God. Carat gold Le Boobie.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. So he wasn't happy about the video. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and watch it. We'll see if there's a reason to be unhappy about it. Okay. I haven't seen this. Apparently, it came out earlier today, and we will take a look at it. So this is Legal Mindset. He recently hit apparently 300,000 subscribers, and he released a video, and it's called Twitch Has a Hasan Problem. Okay, let's take a look at it. Let's watch it. Here we go. And also, by the way, of course Hasan isn't going to watch a video of people calling into action the fact that he pulled out what could have been considered as a firearm. Whether you think that it's a real gun or not, apparently people said it was an airsoft gun. Go rob a store, go rob a bank with an airsoft gun. You're going to get charged as if it was a real gun. I don't think it really matters, but, you know, of course he's not going to watch that.
Twitch has a brand new Hasan problem, and this one could have...
So he's not introducing himself as a lawyer, right? He's just talking about legality? Because I was just curious, like, if that was what was going to happen.
Huge repercussions, both legal and non-legal. We're going to get into that today. Of course, on the Legal Mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and I'm bringing you this fast facts premiere, a quick and dirty version, while I once again on...
Is he an attorney or not? I don't even know.
Short vacation in lovely Phuket, Thailand.
I guess he is.
Another hotel room, another place, but still bringing you the freshest news. So make sure you like this video.
He is? Okay.
Like the fast facts
Well, then
version.
why would they say it's fake? Esquire means attorney? Oh, I thought it was like a French word, like esquier from like Expedition 33. I just thought it was like a made-up word. That's crazy. Okay.
So let's get right into it. Twitch has always taken a preferential stance when it comes to enforcing its guidelines, or at least when looking at its terms of service, has not always applied those equally to all groups and people. And one of the people that gets the most criticism
Everybody knows this. Everybody knows it. It's a fact.
This, and that many folks across the board have said is the really recipient of a lot of the benefit of the terms of service without the burden of punishment, has been one Hasan Piker. Now,
I actually think that Hasan is the most noteworthy case because he's really popular. But the fact is that other people do worse stuff than Hasan all the time, and they never get in trouble either. I think that really everybody thinks about Hasan because, again, that's what gets the most attention. But the fact is that, like, Mike from PA goes way harder than Hasan does. Really. Like, I mean, there's no universe where, like, I mean, Hasan does things that are unhinged, but even Hasan, I think, tries to at least pretend to not be crazy.
Now, today, there was an absolutely extreme incident which really points out the problem for Twitch in having this unequal enforcement involving Hasan and how this can have legal consequences. And this is involving him swinging around what appears to be, and that's the very key here legally and overall, what appears to be a weapon. So let's take a look at the video. And of course, this is video that I found over on X, which highlights this incident. So we'll take this clip here and give some commentary as we go.
It's time to crusade Iran and Gaza. Mamdani communists. Let's go to war against the left.
So so to give you some background here, it appears there's a chatter in his chat who is made a bunch of comments. Obviously, these are comments that are not fitting with the vibe in the crowd of.
I mean, to be fair, this chatter should be permed. Like they should have their account deleted. Like calling for war and to hang streamers, like they should have their account deleted. I mean, even if you don't like Hasan or you don't like Zoran Mandami, like you can't have people saying that shit, right?
Hasan's chat, obviously, for any of this, he would have the ability to block and or ban this person. Of course, every single content creator retains the right to ban people out of their chat for whatever reason. Some people are more permissive, some people are more restrictive. That's really up to the creators on their platform. If they choose to ban people for anything, that's up to them. We wouldn't be here today if this was just a block and ban incident, which, once again, I think there was plenty of grounds for.
By the way, about Mandami's application to Colombia, he's actually from Uganda, so his application was accurate. So him being African American, like African American is a specific identity of black people that exist in America. Africans are not African American. They are African. It is a specific identity of a group of people inside of the United States. He put that on his application in order to use it to get an advantage. He's not a stupid guy. This is a very intelligent, very well manicured, well presenting, intelligent person. He put that so it would increase his chances of getting accepted. Everybody knows it. Why are we playing games?
For him as a creator saying, hey, I don't want this person here.
He knew.
And some of this language was even pretty extreme, saying hang Hasan for treason. Yeah, that's pretty extreme. And you know what? Blocking and banning someone for that would be called for. If someone came into my chat or anybody else's chat and said that about that creator, they would probably catch a ban. They would probably catch a block and a ban, and possibly a report, a broader report. But the response that Hasan gives here is not proportional nor appropriate to these comments. Let's play this.
In our sincerity and actually delivering for the very working.
So let's be clear. He's gone and retrieved what appears to be a pistol. Now, many people have pointed out it could be airsoft.
Even the dog is on alert. The dog is like, oh, fuck. Oh.
Or it is airsoft or whatever else. The key here is that it appears to be a real weapon. I'll also note, as someone who played airsoft for like 8-9 years as a kid, I had MP5s, I had pistols, I had a sniper rifle, even an airsoft sniper rifle. You're supposed to have an orange tip or a marker on the end of an airsoft. That would be not a typical airsoft. We took ours off immediately. Lack that marker or remove that orange tip, even though, of course, some people do that. Some people make it more realistic.
Instantaneously, we did that.
But the key here, and this is a key that is not just in analyzing this for Twitch terms of service, but also broader for the law, is that you can make a physical threat. You can make a threat or try to intimidate somebody with even a fake weapon,
Yeah.
with a fake knife, with a fake gun, with a fake bomb. If you were going to try to hijack a
bank,
plane
yeah.
and you attempted that with a fake gun,
You get
it
tried
would
as if you were using
not be
it.
material in terms of your
Yeah.
defense. You would not be able to say, oh, but well, it was fake,
Wasn't
so I
real.
couldn't do it all along. You know, when you get caught and arrested and thrown in jail, you don't get off because, oh, it was fake. No, you would lead a reasonable person to
don't need to-
believe that was
Yeah, you don't need to be a lawyer to know this. Like, even I know this. How many of you guys already knew this?
real, and a reasonable person could have fear of that knife, gun,
Yeah,
bomb,
like, I
whatever,
mean, it's just-
despite
yeah.
the fact that it's not objectively real. So that's a defense a lot of people brought up, and I don't think that stands up. Let's continue
No.
here.
Politics compared with what President Trump has been able to do. You know, over the same period of time that I've been running, has been I would tell him if the last person who couldn't get my name right, we defeated him, that's what it's going to look like again.
Okay, fair enough.
Once again, brandishing the weapon, flaring it around. Obviously, there's a point to this. Obviously, there's an individual
Yeah.
who this is directed at. You know, this is something that's not really ambiguous in the general intention.
As you may or it's pretty obvious who's trying to threaten the guy. That's obviously what's going on. Everybody can see that. It's not even a question. I mean, and also I think it's, again, a very, very big mistake because, like, if you show a gun, that's going to hurt. Like, if you shoot somebody breaking into your house and they have clips of you showing a gun and that you're going to shoot people, they could use that as evidence that you premeditated it and you wanted to shoot them, which could make your appeal for self-defense weaker. So I think it was a mistake. It's a mistake to do that.
Oh, you found his account?
Today, I will show you 3 ways you can use your smartphone.
So here's another crazy thing about the doxing.
state,
So
yeah.
now that you've paired, so you've linked up brandishing a weapon, what appears to be a real weapon, whether or not it is, whether it's an airsoft or whether it's fake.
Yeah.
You've paired up brandishing a weapon with doxing, which is revealing their private information, which, by the way, in certain jurisdictions, in certain places
California,
in the
I
world,
think, is one of
is illegal.
Yeah.
So you've done 2 things which are potentially illegal. There's the brandishing, the threats, the intimidation, and then you've got the doxing, right? So you've got 2 separate things
Yeah.
you're now doing together. So that this is combining to make it even worse.
Not
Wait,
good at all.
this is the guy?
First thing we want to do is download the YouTube
It's not the guy. It's not even the guy.
VPN app, which we can do through the first link in the description.
Fuck are you gonna do, bro?
And of course, I do like the pop-up there just explaining that this is
Yeah.
clearly against their TOS. This is something that is not, holistically, both the doxing and the threatening is, of course, against the Twitch terms of service, right?
Yeah.
Write a petition? Let's do a crusade, he says. Let's do a fucking crusade, he says. Let's hang Hasan and Mamdani for treason, he says. The fuck are you gonna do? Go on a fishing expedition? Try to fucking put malware in my phone? Is that what you're gonna do?
You don't have to have big muscles in order to pull the trigger of a gun. It's not like you have to work out in order to shoot a gun. That's the whole point of a gun. Like, I don't even, like, what, are they going to beat each other up with a gun? I don't know. You're misinterpreting it. It's not a threat. He's just fucking stupid. I think that if you pulled out a gun like this in front of a police officer, you would be spending the night in jail or in the morgue. I think this is absolutely a threat. I think if somebody went to your house and they did this in front of your house, you'd be calling the police. That's the truth. And everybody knows it.
You skinny bitch.
And to be clear, nothing that Hasan said would be necessarily impermissible. He could say all those things. He could call them, I believe his technical word was a skinny bitch, all he wants. That would have been perfectly fine. He could
yell. It's actually not perfectly fine, because if Tectone can get banned for calling Frogan a fat bitch, then why is Hasan not getting banned for calling someone else a skinny bitch? What is this, fat privilege? That doesn't seem fair.
At this guy the whole night, scream at this guy the whole night. The problem was the weapon combined with the doxing, right? All the other stuff he could do. That's his show. He can run it how he wants. That wouldn't necessarily be against TOS to just yell at the guy the whole night and make fun of the guy. That's fine. Do it your way. Not what we do on my channel. But hey, he can do it on his channel all he wants. But with that, you open yourself up to a bunch of problems. And Twitch is opened up to a bunch of problems because now they've got to decide what they're going to do with Hasan. And in the past, they've only given him slaps on the wrist. That is, they've given him 1 day or 24-hour bans or sometimes 12-hour bans. And that's been all they've done with him. But now we've got a serious problem because we've got a situation in which if he is not banned for this, this opens up this behavior for others. So it opens up this behavior, these threats for other people, which can bring on what appears.
I think also it another. I don't know if he's going to talk about this or not. I mean, but my understanding is like I mean, Twitch obviously knows this happened, right? And if Twitch knowingly ignored this, and something bad happens in the future at Twitch, they could use this as evidence that there's a pattern of behavior that Twitch does not cull or, action problematic actors. You see what I'm saying? And like that can be used as like a precedent of irresponsibility, negligence, or something like that. They have to do something. You're wrong on that? Well, okay, so I can draw a parallel, okay? And this is the only thing I can do as a good argument. And again, like maybe he could, elaborate on this more than I could. But like, for example, for any sort of, child sexual abuse material or copyright material, the problem is not that the content is on the platform. The problem only exists with liability towards the company if the company knows the content is on the platform and they permit it to be on the platform. So they're not proactively accountable, but if there's evidence that they knew about it and they let it happen, then they are accountable. And that's part of Section 230 that removes liability. It's called precedence. Yes, and so that's my bet. That's where I'm drawing this connection from. And it also creates a history of behavior. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? I mean, if somebody has a history of behavior, then you can assume that it wasn't just an accident, right? Clearly.
To be real weapons, knives, bombs, and dox people, threaten them. And here's the problem for Twitch. They open themselves up for not just losing advertisers, which is a big non-legal issue, not just looking bad as a brand, because obviously nobody wants to be the platform in which people are openly brandishing weapons and threatening others and doxing them. That's not good for a platform. But you open yourself up to illegal consequences as well. Now, obviously, many people know the breach of contract route. And there are arguments in terms of breaching the contract between the creator and the platform in terms of banning somebody for one type of behavior, whereas you don't ban somebody for another. So you don't ban Hasan for this, but let's say another creator is banned for this. Well, there might be a cause of action open up there. Now, there's a lot of challenges with that. That's a difficult one. But one that's even more interesting and one that is really untested, and in fact, there may be many people looking to test this, is a consumer type action under a private right of action. Every state has their consumer laws, and those laws are sometimes very, very strong. And one thing they protect against is unfair and deceptive practices. And it indeed is a very strong case to say it is an unfair and deceptive practice to benefit some people while punishing others. because this bias, this, for example, Hasan bias, is not disclosed anywhere. It's not given out in the terms of service. When you read the terms of service, nowhere does it say.
I don't think that they can really have that bias happen and be held accountable for it unless it can be proven that it's done off of grounds that were protected groups. And this is, again, I'm not sure about this, but that's my understanding, is that like you can ban people for whatever reason you want, but there are certain groups of people that you can't ban categorically for discrimination reasons. So, like, for example, you can't ban black people from doing something, but you can ban other groups of people, like all Republicans, for example, because some things are protected groups and other things are not protected groups. So I think that's my understanding, but I could be wrong.
Everyone will be punished except for Hasan Piker. Everyone will be banned except for Hasan Piker. Or,
Yeah.
for example, if you want to be more broad, everyone will be banned except people who share Hasan Piker's political beliefs or
Sure.
affiliations or associations. If that was disclosed publicly, then fair dues, then you can do what you're trying to do. Of course, advertisers may have an issue with that, but legally it wouldn't be as deceptive.
Yeah.
But now you're deceiving the consumer, both the people that are consuming the content, that are expecting that their favorite content creators will not be banned, and then seeing them get banned, and deceiving the creators themselves by lulling them into a belief that they can stream on your platform safely and do what they want, just like Hasan.
I think the big problem is that a lot of companies want to have the privileges of Section 230 that allows them immunity from accountability from their behavior. So they want the privileges of a platform, but the power of a publisher. And I think that the more companies start applying these terms of service like rules arbitrarily, and they're not applying them in an even way, I think that really this is a privilege that the government gives these websites and these companies. And in turn, I think these companies should be acting in good faith. And if these companies are not acting in good faith and they're not doing the thing that the privilege is designed to allow them to do, or not do in this case, which is preemptively censor and audit all content, and that's, again, because they're not a publisher, they're not publishing it themselves, they're just a platform for other people to publish on it. If you are applying this much editorial control to a website, at what point do you effectively become a publisher? Right? It's the second that happens, right-leaning websites or media get censored out of existence due to liability of removing or restricting Section 230. Well, I don't have a problem with that at all, with companies that are actively applying it one-dimensionally.
But then they're ultimately punished. And they're punished for a much longer period of time. They're losing a much larger slice of revenue, memberships, subscriptions, etc., affiliate deals than Hasan. So you're able to point to that and say, I have damages because I am being banned for 7x, 10x, 30x, way longer than Hasan. And I can bring this private cause of action for an unfair and deceptive practice on the part of Twitch. And there's a lot of folks that may be opened up for that. So looking at this,
I think that especially with how, like, and this was the really bad one was the Arab to Jew tier list that they did. That's the one that I think is really going to get them in a bad situation. Is that if they're banning and applying rules to people based off of perceived ethnic differences, if that can be proven in court, Twitch is actually fucked. The Sabra tier list, yeah, it is. It should be a perma. That was crazy. It was. And also, like, another thing, too, is that I don't think that the tier list is a problem. Like, but, and this is kind of like, this is what the issue is that it's the systematic allowance of one type of racism while other types of racism are being banned. And I think that's really where the problem is more than anything. Because, like, on YouTube, for example, or on Kick or Rumble, you can say a lot of different crazy stuff. But Twitch has a much more narrow terms of service, and a lot more things that would be against the rules on other platforms are, or would not be against the rules, are against the rules on Twitch. So really the problem isn't that it's happening. The problem is that it's happening and it's being regulated in a one-dimensional way. Israeli accounts are banned from opening accounts by IP. Yeah, like there's a lot of evidence, I think, and not yeah, there's a lot of evidence that points towards the direction that Twitch has had a bias that is detrimental to Jewish people. I would say so. I think criticism and negative treatment towards Jewish people has been allowed to exist much more than the opposite. I think also you have creators that, with that tier list that got a 30-day ban and that was it. And I don't know. I mean, like, it's very hard to prove something like that in court. That's a very big accusation. But I think that they would have a number of points of reference, and especially with, like the logic of like Twitch, for example, if Twitch said, well, we banned the IP addresses after October 7th from Israel and Palestine because of the war, that would be immediately deleted when you look at the fact that Ukraine wasn't banned. It would just be instantaneously gone. So like that argument doesn't exist. And I think that, again, like, yeah, the logic's off. Yeah, of course, it's totally off. And same with Russia, exactly.
Big problem, and would be even a bigger problem if there was a real incident where somebody got into an altercation where there was a threat made like Hasan, and then somebody responded with force. We saw the case of Sin City Manny in Las Vegas, the streamer that responded to taunting and threats of other streamers. People are not beyond responding with violence, particularly in America.
Especially not
that
now.
is something in 2025. That's
Very
something that
common.
could happen, and God forbid that do happen, would be the absolute end of Twitch as a platform. What do I see them doing? They've got to do something against Hasan. Hopefully they give him a longer term ban, more than just 24 hours. But unfortunately, Twitch has been known to be very light on its favorite golden boy. But let me know in the comments below what you think about the whole situation, and what do you think they're going to do with Hasan, if they're going to do anything, and I'll catch you on the next.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it puts Twitch in a very compromising position to allow that to happen. I think it really, really does. It puts them in a very, very bad position. And I think also, like, there's just been, the issue is that there have been so many instances here. Give it a like. I haven't watched the legal mindset video all the way in general, right? But yeah, there it is. And I don't believe that you have turned off Israel and Ukraine because they learned they made a mistake with Ukraine. I don't believe it, but it's possible. Well, no, because then they didn't turn off. Did they turn it off with India and Pakistan? No, they didn't. So if they only applied this rule one-dimensionally for Israeli accounts, and also you've got to keep in mind that, what do you think the probability is that there have been anti-Semitic communications in channels that could be subpoenaed and found through discovery on Twitch's actual service, especially with individual people that are communicating between each other? I think there's a very high probability that that would happen. A very good chance, yes. And so I think that, again, if this goes to court, and I'm guessing, right? I'm not sure about this, but I think that there's a very high probability